Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joan, and September has gone and passed, so you know what this means. I share my watch list to about 5 people on the internet in hopes that they got a TV show or movie that they're excited to see. Let's begin, shall we? So I started the month with Wife Swap Season 2 because I was getting my hair done and I wanted to watch Wife Swap because I was watching it. A lot more of problematic families, you know. I'm not gonna lie though, Season 2 wasn't that bad. There was actually a lot more tender moments between pairs of parents. A lot more of the episodes were a little bit fulfilling and you can actually tell that both families got something out of it. And it was quick to pass the time. Then me and my boyfriend saw Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. It was a phenomenal movie, top 10 easily, and I liked it so much I made a video on it, and you can check it up here, yes, up here or down below in the description to get my full review of the movie. The next movie that I watched was called The Voyeurs. It was an Amazon Prime premiere and it starred Sydney Sweeney and Justice Smith as a young couple living in Canada who just moved into an apartment, and they get interested with a couple across the street and their sex life. So they start spying on them. Now this movie caught me by surprise, okay? This movie was really good when it came to the relationship of the characters, because you know there's 2 couples here and you have one that's like fully invested in this couple's life across the street, and it looks like the husband is cheating on the wife, and Sydney and Justice, their characters, know. So now they're kind of being faced with this dilemma of being caught watching in on someone's life, and it's like, well, should we tell the wife that this person's cheating and this guy's obviously manipulating her? And it also trickles into, you know, their own relationship and trust issues on their end. I think it was a really interesting movie. You know, it had to do a lot with the idea of seeing and do you really know what's going on, and it's truly a mystery on the idea of, you know, like sight, because Sydney Sweeney's character is an ophthalmologist, so she works in a eye studio, so I think it's really interesting to make her character like that's her career. The ending truly surprised me. Like, I was out of my seat walking around my living room like, holy shit, I did not see this coming. And maybe other people watched it and be like, oh my god, this was totally obvious, but not me. I was caught by surprise. This is a good movie to go in blind. So if you're a fan of Sydney Sweeney or Justice Smith, if you like mystery movies, if you like the idea of voyeurism in film, definitely give this a watch. The next movie that I watched is called Disobedience. It starred Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams, and Rachel Weisz plays a character of a Jewish woman living in New York who's originally from England. Her father dies, who's like the head of synagogue, and she goes back and her childhood friend is letting her stay at his house, and come to find out that another childhood friend of theirs, played by Rachel McAdams, they're married. And also come to find out Rachel McAdams' character and Rachel Weisz's character had a previous sexual relationship when they were younger. Hence the reason why Rachel Weisz's character was ousted out of town. So basically, when Rachel Weisz's character comes back to settle her dad's affair and go to the funeral, everyone's giving her the cold shoulder. Basically, this is like a love story about, you know, your lost love and queer identity in a Jewish community. And I've actually wanted to watch this movie for a while, and personally I liked it. It's a drama, like a slow drama, and honestly the sex scene between Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams went hard, if you ask me. And I think it's just very interesting how both these women are now in the MCU. The next movie I watched was Transporter 3. Now this movie I kind of watched on a whim because I was having like a down day, or like I was just very tired one day. I think after I did Instacart for like 6 hours, so I just kind of came home and chilled, and I just wanted to watch movies, so I kind of threw this on. I've already seen the previous Transporter movies with Jason Statham. Personally, my favorite is the second one, and this one was very interesting. Like, the whole plot of it is basically Jason Statham plays his character who transport things, that's his job, and it's like a whole secrecy thing, and he takes his job very seriously. And basically this time around he's transporting a woman, and it's I think it's like Polish prime minister's daughter, because in this universe he is trying to sign like a climate change treaty to hold this like oil company accountable. So this oil company hires someone to kidnap his daughter to make him not sign this treaty, and Jason Statham has to do it. But previously he gave the job to someone else, and this person failed because he let the daughter speak to her dad, and it just went downhill. Now the gist of this is that both of them are locked to a device to the car, and so if they get like 100 feet away from the car, they'll die. So Jason Statham's character, I think his name is John. All fucking assassins' names are John. It's easy enough. Basically, he has to go through these different situations where he has to outrun the people that he's working for, you know, the Polish prime minister's own people trying to get his daughter, and he has to stay in close proximity to the car so he doesn't die. It was a good action flick. I love Jason Statham. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a great stuntman, and I just think the whole dynamic with him and this woman and they like getting together, like I didn't really care for that. His friend, the French detective, he was funny per usual, and it was just a nice movie for me to just turn my brain off. Right, next film I watched was Waiting to Exhale. I love this movie. I really just wanted to watch a feel-good movie. I just still can't believe that Forrest Whitaker literally directed this movie. Like, I think this was his second movie that he ever directed, and I just did not know that. I just did not know that, and I just think it's interesting. I think what I love about it is just like the black female friendship and like a friendship of black women in various ages. Like, I think Loretta Devine's character is the oldest. I just love that movie. It's great. Every woman is just great. The next thing I watched was Clickbait, which is a miniseries on Netflix. Whoa, this show came out running, okay? One of my friends told me to watch it. She's like, you need to watch the show, I know you would like it. So I watched it. I watched that shit in under 12 hours, okay? I was invested. All 8 episodes. They really got me in the end. Like, this is also another show you should definitely go blind into, because you will not know who is behind all of the shenanigans that happens. Like, you will not know. Like, you will have a theory every episode, and then like your theory will be solved and you're like, we still have 2 episodes left. I don't get it. A great watch. The next thing that I watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang for the first time with my boyfriend, and needless to say, I did not finish the movie. First of all, this movie was too long to begin with. Like, this movie was 2.5 hours long, and I don't know why. So we made it with an hour left, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to tap out, son, because this movie, it's like The Love Bug, which I already had a problem with, but like, it was just grueling to get through. Like, they easily could have cut shit out, and like the whole plot is just basically this old fighter car in the 1900s that gets sold to an inventor that his kids want so fucking bad, and the music in itself is just fucking annoying. Like, the whole song where the dad and the 2 kids and this love interest is trying to get the love interest dad to like invest into this candy, and that whole song, it was stupid. It was stupid as shit, and it's not cute. I already have a thing with 60s movies, but then there's 60s movies like this that are supposed to be children's movies or family movies that are just so cartoonish as shit. I just can't get over it. So yeah, I watched it. I did not finish it, and I will update you when I do finish it. The next movie that I watched was Malcolm and Marie. I actually watched it with my stepsister because we were currently filming. We're in production for a film in Columbus, and the director said she watched the movie as like inspiration to write the dialogue. So everyone, literally, like me and Shawanda, my sister, were the only people that had not seen it. So we're like, we're gonna watch. So I did her headshots for her, and then we watched the movie, and I understand why a lot of people had their problems with it. And yeah, it's something. Like, I think the movie that I just don't really like, the character of Malcolm is like literally fucking annoying, and then like Marie obviously is with this man. They're so toxic. Like, she needs to leave, because it's the fact that like all she wanted was a thank you, and it like blew up over the fucking wee hours of the morning. Like, they stay fighting every other scene, and then they would make up, and then they would fight, and then make up and fight, and I'm like, this is annoying. This is exhausting. It's an exhausting movie, and it was just, I don't know how people like this movie. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it, it's just exhausting. And I don't think I want to put myself through that ever again. The next thing I watched was 9 Perfect Strangers. It finished last month. And honestly, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't like, it's not like 10 out of 10. I say like a 8. 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Because I did like what they did with the characters, but I just felt like there's just some things that could have been, you know, not there. Like the whole Carmel thing and the fact that like she was the one that shot Masha, that kind of felt like out of left field. So that was kind of interesting. And then the whole like drug inducing to like connect with your past one, that was fine. I do like a good epilogue. I think the epilogue was great, I'm not gonna lie. And I think the whole like characters being trapped in a fire and then they made them like be vulnerable and like talk to one another and like it made them get to that point, I think that was good. I just wish it didn't devolve into like one of them being kidnapped and all of them were just very interested. Like I think that was really extreme, and I wish like if they just like sat and like talked to them or like made them feel some other way to get this reaction, I think it would have been a little bit, it would have been better. Personally, I didn't like that. I didn't really like that. But all in all, I think the show was really good. Honestly, yes, I would still say now the show's ended, Melissa McCarthy and Regina Hall, best performances, period. Samira Wiley was pretty funny. I loved her character. She was hilarious. Yeah, it's a solid watch. Solid watch. Better than The White Lotus. And to end the month, I watched The World to Come. Another lesbian movie. It really interested me, okay? It just interested me. So basically it is about this woman. Her name is Abigail. She lives with her husband, Casey Affleck, and they had a kid. She died of some fever, so now they're kind of getting over it. So her neighbor, Tally, and her husband, I don't remember his name, so we'll call him Josh since he's all about the Bible and shit. Tally is played by Vanessa Kirby, wonderful actress. Basically, they strike a friendship, and then that friendship turns into a relationship. So this movie was set in the 1840s, and the women, their relationship was very intimate because in a way their husbands are kind of, not like they don't pay attention to them, but like Casey Affleck wants another baby, but Abigail's like going through it, and then Josh wants Tally to be an actual housewife, but Tally's just free-spirited. So that in itself, they became friends and they start getting this like love for each other, and it's very much the longing type of, you know, love. Abigail writes in her diary and she writes entries, and there's like title cards, so like it'd be like June 9th, whatever, and that the date in itself would be a title card. So, you know, they get together, and then Tally's husband Josh finds out that the reason why she goes over to their house so much is actually not because of Casey Affleck, it's because of Abigail. So long story short, Tally actually dies. She dies of the same illness that Abigail's daughter dies. And I just have to say this, it's the fact that Abigail was so torn up over Tally's death versus Josh. Josh did not give a fuck. He did not give a fuck. This, her own husband, Abigail's own husband, had to take her off of this woman's body. She was hurting that bad. But Josh was just like, I don't give a fuck. So that was very interesting. But I think what I liked about this film a lot is that you didn't see any of the sex scenes between Tally and Abigail until the end. And it was like the way that they did the editing is that they cut the sex scenes in between different date title cards, and it just wasn't about that. Like the sex part wasn't the most important thing to get out of this movie, and because it was more about the relationship and the longing and how the women made each other feel. So like I kind of like that. I just kind of like it was like at the end, and it was only like 5 minutes, and it was supposed to be this big like cathartic feeling of the film, and the film just ends with them two like lying in hay and staring in each other's eyes, and I liked it. Honestly, I liked it. And I read a Letterboxd review that said this is what Anna Knight thought it was gonna be, and that movie is with Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan. So I just thought that was funny, and that is what I watched this September. I watched a lot more than August, which is fine. I think I was just in that type of mood, and I'm not mad about it. But yeah, this month I know I'm about to be watching some good stuff. I got some strong stuff on my watch list, and I cannot wait to talk about them next month. So if you like the content of this video, don't forget to give a like and leave a comment of one of your favorite TV show or movie that you watched last month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.